all the way down, and we officer the officer that's here as a group of volunteers plus the officer, we came down and with the map, and we actually took a survey of all the trash. Like, okay, it looks like there's maybe about 50 pounds of trash right here of different types. It's noted. Maybe 20 yards this way. Here's another site, like maybe another 100 pounds of trash. We have that survey up the front. It is fascinating, and I'm it's fascinating to read because everyone who goes above, they like. It all looks green, all looks good. They drive by until you actually see the numbers and see what's down here and realize that a lot of this gets pushed out there to where a lot of people surf. It kind of breaks it home.
So you can imagine when we get that big storm event that flushes RVs out, you can imagine how much of this stuff that's everywhere out here all ends up in the ocean. And
Even
I'm sure you've seen
medium
all the recent
rain
press
event.
about the Pacific garbage patch and the jar of trash out there. All of that plastic ends up in the ocean, and it goes round and round out there forever. We're seeing plastic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that's been there since they started making plastic over 50 years ago.
Scary. Very scary.
So, what we've been doing with the Stream Team, like Paul said, since 2001, we've been coming out to very specific sites, and not this site. One of the sites we do is actually at the mouth over here. Then we do another one about, I would say, a mile or two.
Shell Road.
So okay, Shell Road, and then
Foster Park.
all the way up to Matilaha. And like I said, we do this at exact times. And what we're doing is we're trying to establish that baseline. You know, if what is normal conductivity, what is normal pH, and not just for a particular time of day, but for the different seasons. Because one thing that I've learned about just rivers, just volunteering for this, is how everything changes. I enjoy studying complex things, and nothing for a scientific mind is as interesting as something like this right here. On that note, just like introduce some of the things that we do. You tell me what this is. The base?
Case.
The case? What kind of case?
Right.
Plastic case, good job. Inside is a Global Water FP101. This is a complex engineered device consisting of a brass tube, a bike tachometer, and a propeller on the inside.
I was going to guess that.
I'm going to ask this young lady right here. Average speed. The first thing that I like to measure is water flow. How much water are we actually measuring? You know, if it's going to be a pH or maybe conductivity, how big is the fishbowl essentially? So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to ask our partner here to hold this. I'm going to jump across on the other side right here. And what I'm doing actually, I'm just using this little strip as an overall representation of the river because clearly I'm not going to have this lady swim all the way across the river. Not this time. If I see her again on a Saturday volunteer day, you're going across, young lady, I'm telling you. So I was going to pretend like this little stretch of water right here is the Ventura River, just to kind of give you a sense of what we do. The very first thing you do is we're going to measure the width. And we say, okay, we got about, let's just say this is 4 feet right here. And once we know the width of the spot that we want to measure, we're going to take samples of the depth, then the average speed of that depth, and that'll give us like a nice cross section of the river, and that'll tell us our for you nerds, our mass flow rate.
So you can see it's got gauges on the side for measuring the depth. So you'll come and put this in. There's an arrow on the bottom. Head that upstream. Measure the depth. We got about 0.6.
0.6. And then we're going to bring it up so it's like almost right in the middle of the river. Oh yeah, go. Sorry about that.
You can hold this. I'm going to reset this. And that little propeller's going round and round. We're getting a reading. This is really just a bike computer, but it's calibrated now to get revolutions per second, which gives you feet per second on the gauge.
And had this been an actual Streamteam event, Mr. Jenkins here would have the notebook open with the pen, eagerly rating the results. I'm sorry, what's your name? That young Brianna here would call out. So what would be the first data point?
Down here at the bottom. 0.44.
So okay, 0.44 what?
Feet per second.
Feet per second.
I would write that down.
So about a half foot per second of water is flow at that point. Now if you go ahead and take your shoes off and stand in the middle of
Right here. Can you see how deep that is? Can you measure that? See what it says on the side? 0.6. Very good. And then we lift it back up about halfway. 0.6 meters. No, that's feet. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's on the feet side. We actually use the meters when we do. Okay, hold the stick steady. Hold it steady. Now we're a little further over from the main flow. We're getting a little bit lower reading. What does it say? 0.28.
Mr. Jenkins will truly note that, and we'll do that all the way across the river. So as you can imagine, I like doing this in slower flow events as opposed to faster flow events. Because if there is a lot of flow, yes, we will get in the middle of the river. We will roll our socks, and we will, swim 3 or 4 feet. If it gets too deep, well then. It's probably not safe to go in there anyways.
If it gets waist high, you end up floating downstream.
Yeah.
Right.
Not doing
Quick question.
Yes.
Does this beat the orange peel test?
Yes, it does.
We used to do that back in the day.
Peel test, we used to do a cross section upstream and then go 10 yards downstream, 10
Right.
meters downstream, and we would break an orange peel up and drop it and time it with a stopwatch. And then you would know how fast the water was flowing down through that section.
Come a long way.
This is a little more accurate, but we've done it both ways at the same place, same time, and confirmed that they both work. Okay.